This one's called New Church Hints at One World Government. New Church hints a one world government is being formed now. Now, and this is, by the way, related to his whole like panic about the Great Reset. But now rebuild plans for the damaged Notre Dame Cathedral hint at the formation of a global church too, and Glenn predicts it will bring darkness. He details the church's woke themes while wearing a picnic table cover.
Over the holidays when I heard that Joe Biden was opening up the strategic oil reserve to bring down gas prices. Yeah, Joe, that's not what the strategic oil reserve is for. And when are you going to replenish that? Because
just so you know, strategic oil reserve use past. Whoops. Okay, first of all, not doing it alone is the primary thing. This is the one thing that that Fox and everybody refuses to point out. U.S. and several other countries will tap their national strategic petroleum reserves. Senior Biden administration officials said Tuesday in an attempt to bring down gasoline prices have become a big contributor for inflation. By the way, the leases that have gone up on non-federal lands and the ones in the Gulf near Texas will make up for the lost amount in the future. And the strategic reserves are more often filled rather than us purchasing them by the leftover of what's pumped out of the ground. We get it instead of direct fees. They give it to us in oil. And it's multiple countries doing this. The idea, though, that they want to push is that nobody else is doing this. Now, there should be, let's see. Let's see. Existing proposed background. Drawdowns. Here you go. Boink. They tested a sale of 1.1 billion Desert Storm sale when we went to war. 21 million barrels to make up for the fact that there wouldn't be there. Why would you do that? We didn't use that oil over for Desert Storm. Oh, we knew that there wouldn't be oil in the market because of the war, so we added some to our own. Okay, 4 million barrels in August 1990 test sale, 17 million barrels in January 1990. Presidentially ordered drawdown. What happened in January 1991? Same shit. 28 million barrels for non-emergency sales for deficit reduction. Boink. There we go. So we do use it for financial reasons. Just saying. To make sure that the economy doesn't tilt. That's one of the reasons we do that. So 2.8 million barrels to supply the Northeast Home Heating Oil Reserve. 30 million barrels in response to concern over how distillate levels in the northeastern U.S. There was not enough. 11 million barrels around Katrina. Katrina shut down 95% of crude production and 88% of natural gas output in the Gulf of Mexico. This amounted to a quarter of total U.S. output. About 735 oil and natural gas rigs and platforms have been evacuated due to the hurricane. So we replenished that amount. I mean, you could have just not. Would have driven the price through the roof. But they did it to make sure that the price stayed stable and that there was enough going to go around. Arab Spring, weird. When there wasn't enough, 30 million barrels. Non-emergency sale to offset disruptions caused by political upheaval in Libya and elsewhere in the Middle East. Why would we let the Middle East tell us when to take money out of our strategic oil reserves? And obviously we just poured that into people's gas tanks. We just refined it and gave it away free like a communist country. Oh, we didn't? Oh, no, we put it into the market to lower the amount. Oh, I see. Let's see. Loans are made on a case-by-case basis to alleviate supply disruptions, which is what we are going through. Once conditions return to normal, the loan is returned to the SPR with additional oil as interest. $900,000 to ARCO to alleviate pipeline blockage. $11 million to Pemex for 8.5 million barrels of higher quality crude. 1 million barrels lent to Citgo and Conoco in response to shipping channel blockage. 296,000 barrels lent to Shell Pipeline Company in advance of Hurricane Lily, so they could keep the refineries running, even though they didn't have supplies coming in because they had to shut down the rigs, so that the people would still have gas, because if they didn't, the gas price would go up. All right. But, I'm sorry, Glenn, you were telling us that they don't, we don't use it for those reasons ever.
I don't see the price of gas going down because of what your administration is doing. This is
A month ago, $3.40.01. 3 weeks a week ago, 3.409. Yesterday, 3.394. Current average, 3.394. So, a lot? No. Down? Yes. Highest recorded average price, $4.01. Let's see, current average. What's this one? Regular, medium print, okay. Basically the same thing. Month ago average. There's a slight tick down. There you go. It's ticking down. This stuff hasn't had a chance to enter into it, so that tick down is based on other stuff. Probably the end of summer.
I mean, everything this administration has done or is doing is to the detriment of the United States of America.
It's important.
Okay. Everything this that the Biden administration is doing is to the detriment of the United States, of America. So, the passing of the infrastructure bill is to the detriment of the United States of America. The lowering of the unemployment rate is to the detriment of America, because you have to understand, Glenn Beck believes that you can't make an omelet without breaking some eggs, and the omelet where you just toss some eggs out for fun tastes so much better.
Note, too, that when prices went down by 14 cents for your July 4th picnic, they did say that was the result of Joe Biden's economic plan working. Mm-hmm. That was their summary of the 14-cent savings you supposedly had on July 4th.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we're still talking about that bullshit, but 14 cents. The way they aggregated that was a Fox News thing, I think. Hold on, 14 cents, July 4th. That storyline. We covered it at the time. This is the White House. Where is it? Newsweek. This is what they're talking about. 14 cents, 16 cents. Most cookouts are 16 cents cheaper this year, and the internet isn't impressed. Biden administration posted on Thursday the cost of 4th of July cookout went down by 16 cents 2021 compared to 2020. The White House issued a tweet touting modest price decreases in foods popular over the holiday weekend. Savings highlighted in the tweet included a cost of 13-ounce bag of potato chips dropping by 1%, 3-pound portion of center-cut pork chops plummeted by 2%, a 32-ounce serving of pork and beans listed at $1.90, representing the average, the largest savings at 13% reduction. Planning to cook out this year, the White House catch up on the news. According to the Farm Bureau, the cost of 4th of July barbecue was down last year, and the fact you must have heard hot dog, you Biden, yeah, it's just a cute thing or whatever. Cost of 4th of July cookout for 21 is down 16 cents from last year overall. Now, if it had stayed the same or gone up, I'm sure they would have gone, hey, you can't really do anything about that, right? A similar press release was largely unimpressed, 16 cents. Gravity Payments CEO Dan Price said home prices are going up 20% annually right now. The median home goes up 16 cents every 1.3 seconds. Yeah, but people aren't buying... There are not as many people buying houses are buying franken fucking beans, you twerp. This is amazing. Just bought a house with all the 16 cents I saved. Yeah, this is the whole thing. Comedian writer Monad El Sheikhi tweeted, just bought a house with all, this is the, like, this was back when lumber was expensive. So that was the story on that whole thing. This is amazing. So that's, I mean, there's a bunch of right wingers who just kind of dove on this. I mean, the 860,000 jobs that were added in June, the economy roaring back. Yeah. And the idea that costs at all, considering no one went anywhere last year, that they would be down this year is extraordinary.
About this year?
This year,
about those $80 steaks.
Right. When the prices are going up, it apparently is not a reflection that their plan isn't working, which is interesting because I don't think that they're even trying anymore.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. No one's even trying. And by the way, both of these dudes are worried about how expensive beef is right now. And dessert, I'm guessing. Here you go. Let's see. Here you go. IMF, International Monetary Fund. Kind of important. Hold on. Go away. Kind of international being the kind of big word here in this concern. They don't want to measuring inflation. Okay, this is just their paper on it. Powell to tell Senate Omicron variant poses downside risk to the economy, complicates inflation picture. Fed Chair Powell believes the Omicron variant of COVID-19 and a recent rise in coronavirus cases pose a threat to the U.S. economy. Worries over the new variant could reduce people's willingness to work in person, which would slow progress in the labor market and intensify supply chain disruptions, he said in prepared remarks. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen will join Powell on Tuesday in testifying before the Senate Banking Committee. The recent rise in COVID-19 cases and the emergence of the Omicron variant pose downside risks to the unemployment and economic activity, increasing uncertainty for inflation, Powell said in remarks as he plans to deliver the Senate lawmakers on Tuesday. Greater concerns about the virus could reduce people's willingness to work in person, which would slow progress in the Labor Department and intensify supply chain disruptions. These would be the part of the inflationary numbers that no one can necessarily help. But I would like to hear I know Glenn and Stu are going to be telling us what their solution is and how they both believe that actually inflation is, I guess, there was none under Trump.
They're not trying. They don't care. They say the gibberish you just spat out from the computer doing a summary of my book, which they couldn't do because the book's not out. That gibberish, it sounds honestly like the stuff that comes out of Washington or our universities.
It could be a gender study.
Yes, Stu, your gibberish sounds like all gibberish.
It's a paper that would be approved by most journals.
Try this one on for size. The Department of Education is now proposing to roll back attempts at collecting additional data on teacher-perpetrated sexual assaults. Data collection under last week's proposal would continue to include the number of documented incidents at a given school, but would retire the Trump-era reporting on rape or attempted rape or sexual assault allegations that were followed by a resignation or retirement prior to final discipline or termination. So in other words, you have all these allegations coming out.
Okay, I'm sure they put this in here. Let's see, show more. No, they don't have that. They could put it up on screen so we could check what they're reading. Let me hear that again.
Prior to final discipline or termination. So in other words, or attempted rape or sexual assault, collecting additional data on teacher-perpetrated sexual assaults.
Hold on.
comes out of Washington or, our universities.
It could be a gender studies paper that would be approved by most journals.
Try this one on for size. The Department of Education is now proposing to roll back
let's see, Department of Education, proposing rollback of, that should bring it up, isn't it? House members for-profit collect data on, here you go. This is from the Daily Mail, and this is Biden's Department of Education. Okay, this is where they're getting it from, is Daily Mail. Whoops, hold on. Biden's Department of Education is considering rolling back Trump's efforts to collect data on teacher-student sex crimes to reduce the data burden. The department's Office of Civil Rights has proposed new rules to retire data sets, and the proposal is now up for a 60-day period of public comment. In order to reduce the reporting burden, last week the OCR proposed eliminating accusations of rape or sexual assault. The OCR, proposed eliminating accusations of rape or assault, things that didn't actually pan out, I'm guessing. Is that what they're doing? OCR will ask schools to submit data on the number of documented incidents of rape or sexual assault within their school system. They will not be asked to report the number of accusations of sexual assault or rape that resulted in resignation or retirement of the accused. The President Biden's department has proposed rolling back the reporting data. The department's Office of Civil Rights has proposed new rules. Let's see, here it is. Boink. This has got to be their thing. Department of Education, Docket 1 will be provided information collection, comment request, mandatory civil rights data collection. Department notice. In accordance with the Paperwork Reduction Act of 1995, ED is proposing a revision to an existing information collection, the Civil Rights Data Collection, CRDC. Interested persons are invited to submit comments before or after. To access and review all documents related to the information collection, further content, supplementary information that, in accordance with the Paperwork Reduction Act of 1995, provides the general public and federal agencies with an opportunity to comment on proposed blah, blah, blah. Okay. Abstract. The collection, use, and reporting of education data is an integral component of the mission of the U.S. Department of Education. ED has collected civil rights data about the nation's public schools via civil rights data collection since 1968. For school years 2009 to 10 and 2011 to 12, the Office of Management Budget approved a CRDC part of the ED Fax Information Collection, 1875-0240, ED Fax, and an ED initiative to put performance data at the center of ED's policy, management, budget, decision-making process. Okay, collects and uses data. For school years 2013 to 14, 2015 to 16, 2017 to 18, 2020 to 21, the Office of Civil Rights, OCR, cleared the CRDC as a separate collection from EDFAX while maintaining its transformative data collection policy practice. As the previous CRDC collections, fuck, man, are we going to find out this is just a paper copy? Hold on. Let's, billing code, unofficial copy, paperwork reduction act, mandatory civil rights data collection. Justification. The civil rights data collection is longstanding aspects of the federalized civil data. The ED collect civil rights from the nation's public school. We've seen this before over the years. OCR data collection, they always put that at the top of it. One, explain, let's see. As in previous years, after receiving stakeholder feedback, OCR is proposing some changes to the 2021-2022 CRDC, including restoration of data elements previously retired that will allow ED to identify and address any iniquities in students' access to educational opportunities. OCR also proposes the addition of new optional and required data elements, as well as revision to data elements to improve accuracy of data submitted by schools and school districts. The proposed additions are reflective of new data elements that OCR considers to be of pressing concern. Explain the circumstances. Okay, this is all there. How they do it. Requires state educational agencies and local educational agencies to receive Title I funds under the ESEA to include in their state and local report cards certain CRDC data. This obligation became effective on December 31st, 2017. Officially collected by the CRDC includes the following: in-school suspensions, out-of-school suspensions, expulsions, school-related arrests, referrals to law enforcement, chronic absenteeism, both excused and unexcused absences, instances of violence, including harassing and bullying. Okay, that's the student-related part. Restoration of key data elements. Early childhood indicated, credit recovery programs. Teachers, number of FTE with specific experience. Number of FTE teachers absent more than 10 days. Number of teachers employed during the previous and current school years. Restoration of key data elements. Preschool. Revised data elements. This should stand out. We should be able to find this. Restraint exclusion definition. New data elements. OCR, Let's hear pros. Add data elements to collect the number of students graded and participate in interscholastic sports. Non-binary option in school sport data collection. Number of students who were restrained by grade level, like who were held back. Number of students who had preschool enrollment, preschool discipline, courses and classes, harassment and bullying. Whether LEA law enforcement activity was a written policy or policies prohibiting harassment or bullying of students based on sexual identity, gender, or religion. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Teachers, number of teachers certified in certain areas. Retired data, retired. Okay. To reduce the reporting burden on schools and districts, OCR proposes retiring data elements on certain offenses, interscholastic scholastic athletics, and courses or classes for the reasons of offenses, sexual harassment, and school shootings. OCR proposes retiring data elements related to incidents of sexual harassment by school staff members, disaggregated by determination of responsibility and employment consequences for accused staff members, resignation, reassignment, etc. However, OCR will continue to collect the data on the number of documented incidents of offenses that occur at the school, including the number of documented incidents of sexual assault committed by students and staff. Additionally, OCR proposes to retire data elements to collect information on whether there were any incidents at the school that involved shootings and homicides. However, as described above, OCR proposes to revise the data element that collects information on the number of certain offenses by including the number of incidents of school shootings and homicides. Doing so will allow OCR to collect more detailed information about these offenses at our nation's schools. In summary, OCR proposes to retire the following data elements: whether any of the school students, faculty, or staff died as a result of homicide committed at the school, because the police will already have it. Whether there has been at least one incident at the school that involved a shooting, that will be well documented because it will show up in a different category. You need 2 copies of the same fucking thing. Number of allegations made against school staff member of rape, attempted rape, or sexual assault that occurred at the school, which were followed by resignation or retirement prior to final discipline or termination. See attachment A2, page 70. Data group 1026. Okay, let's see that. Attachment A2. Hold on, Glenn. We're going to check attachment A2. Attachment A2. Let's see. Attachment. I don't know if this is... Hi, guys. Stick with me. Nobody else does this. All right. Okay, this is the crossed out stuff. Where's the semi-mechanical restraint, harassment and bullying? Here we go. 60-day period, regulation, threat of physical. Number of documents included that occurred at the school of robbery with a weapon, robbery without a weapon, physical attack or fight with a weapon, without a weapon, threat of physical attack with a weapon, threat of physical attack without a weapon, rape or attempted rape, sexual assault or other than rape, possession of a firearm, shooting regardless if anyone was hurt, students, faculty, and staff as a result of homicide. You don't have to keep that. Number of documented offenses committed by a student that occurred in the school: rape, attempted rape, sexual assault, other than rape, Number of allegations made at school staff member of offenses that occurred in school, which followed by the resignation. Optional for 2020 to 2021. Offenses categories include rape or attempted rape, sexual assault, other than rape. Number of allegations to a school member that occurred at the school, which were followed by resignation or retirement prior to final discipline or termination. So unless they can prove it. Now, obviously, this person would still be legally in trouble. And therefore, it would be a matter of public record. They left before they got in trouble, and then therefore law enforcement would be called in. So a lot of this is shifting the burden to collecting records on this to the police.
At collecting additional data on teacher-perpetrated sexual assaults. Data collection under last week's proposal would continue to include the number of documented incidents at a given school, but would retire the Trump-era reporting on rape or attempted rape or sexual assault allegations that were followed by a resignation or retirement prior to final discipline or termination. So in other words, you have all these allegations coming out before the school can do something. He's like, I'm retiring. And they want that.
And then it's not about the school anymore. It's a legal matter.
Wiped clean then. The things that they The things that they are doing now, they say they're only doing to collect data. We're going to continue to collect data of documented incidents of offenses committed by school staff, including rape and attempted rape and sexual assault. Notice they use the word committed. These are the data that we've collected since 2015 and 2016. We just propose retiring data on the number of allegations made against school staff to reduce the burden on data and duplication of data.
Yes, duplication of data. There you have it. And right at the tail end, Glenn squeezes it out. Because a lot of these people resign or move out in an attempt when they fight it in court, that if they feel like they can beat it in court, they end up keeping their retirement package. Whereas if they're fired, they might, there might be some, I don't know how the NEA and the teachers union deal with these kind of things, but there might be a clause in there that if you don't acquiesce and resign and you try to fight it internally and then you're found guilty, you lose all your retirement benefits, shit like that.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. Duplicate, fucko. Duplicate. They're going to do this. They are going to retire these things. Whether any of the school's students, faculty, or staff died as a result of a homicide committed at the school.
Yes, because that has nothing to do with school records. That's a matter of law.
We don't need that anymore.
Yes, we don't, because there's morgue records, fucko.
There's been at least one incident at the school that involved a shooting. Don't need that anymore.
Right, because law enforcement will be called.
Allegations made against a school staff member of rape or attempted rape or sexual assault that occurred at the school, which were followed by determination that the school staff member was responsible or not responsible for the offense.
That was followed by what, Glenn? Run that by me again.
School staff member was responsible or not responsible for the offense.
Right. So court. How do you determine if someone is responsible or not responsible for the offense after they have retired from a school? Usually, we use a jury trial.
Just get rid of that.
I don't think that's important, though.
No, I don't either. Okay. Number of allegations made against a school staff member of rape or attempted rape or sexual assault that occurred at the school, which had the determination that remained pending. Number of allegations made against...
Right, because it becomes a matter of law.
School staff member of rape or...
The school doesn't have to keep records of it because that person no longer works there and everybody in the community is going to know that this fucker went to jail.
Rape or sexual assault that occurred at the school, which were followed by a duty reassignment. Oh my gosh. Prior to the final discipline. That's what the Catholic Church was doing. They got an allegation of a priest and they reassigned him.
Right.
That's what our Department of Education, they are.
Well, no, that's not what they're doing. They're putting this forward because they didn't actually catch anybody, or it didn't change the material safety of the children to have these duplicate records anywhere. So they're going back to the original reason. They're just keeping triplicate of shit. But again, like the moving somebody around without discipline, if they've been accused of something without a record of it, would be problematic. The problem is within the school, they would have a record of them doing it. They just wouldn't have to report it to the federal government.
Predators.
But they're asking people for their input on this, on what's important to them.
Education system.
It hasn't happened yet. There's a 60-day review period.
Is becoming
and it's going back to the rules before Trump put this in, which didn't affect any of the outcomes in schools.
A predator of your children. By the way, Black Lives Matter has launched a Christmas campaign against white supremacist capitalism, which I think we all engage in all the time. That's the only way. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas. Hello. A Salvation Army has now gone woke. They need
Wait, are these related topics, or are you just blathering out headlines?
people to, quote, lament, repent, and apologize for biases or racist ideologies held or actions committed. Oh, I don't think that I've done any of that, so guess who's not getting my dollar, Santa? From the Salvation Army. Salvation Army. I'm leading somewhere. Paintings
You'd have to be.
of George Floyd on display now at Catholic University.
As Jesus, right?
Okay.
Or as a dying man in
No
the
big
hands
deal,
of God.
right? Except these are paintings of George Floyd at Catholic University depicted as Jesus Christ.
As a martyr.
Do you really have a problem with that? I mean, really? Catholic University, pictures hanging on the wall of George Floyd depicted as Jesus.
As a martyr, as in God is in all men, and we can learn a lesson of the martyr from anyone who is taken unceremoniously and viciously. That would be the theory.
Incredible.
One
I have a good idea, Glenn. If this offends you, forgive them.
thing. Notre Dame is being built back better. Now, if you remember, Notre Dame was destroyed by fire when Quasimodo left his torch burning as he went down to look for that hot gypsy woman. So it, I mean, that's probably what it was. If Quasimodo was white, that's probably what happened. There was nothing else that could have happened. But Notre Dame is now being built back better as a, quote, woke theme park dedicated to environmentalism and social justice. So I think this is great. They've taken all of the...
By the way, this is a news story that people have been panicking about proposed changes in Notre Dame in the outside area, in the kind of like outer church part of it, not the main cathedral, which they're going to build to the same specifications, but they're going to put kind of messages of hope and future and blah, blah, blah. And a lot of it has to do with justice and freedom and climate change and some other shit like that because, you know, God's green earth, I suppose.
All of the chapels that were, quote, mysteriously burned down in 2019. We still don't have, really? We don't know what burned.
Who's we?
Church. That's weird. Anyway, back to this lovely church.
He got so long-winded on that shit, they edited him down.
I'm going to do a summary of that point.
Yeah.
I'm going to put it for sale on Amazon very soon.
Apparently, he blathered on, and they had to cut it out.
Better church. They're building it back better, and they're going to be several different chapels that will be a chapel for social justice and then a chapel for environmental justice. So it's a really great thing, which leads me to this point. The one world government is
Sorry. That's awesome. That turn, I did not see that one coming. The one world government, please say Super Jew.
formed right now.
The one world government is being formed right now because some of the chapels will be talking about social justice, meaning racial justice.
One world government. It is being formed. It's called the Great...
Wait, hold on. It's called the what? This the Great Reset shit again?
One world government. It is being formed. It's called the Great Reset. When we think of one world religion, most people are like, oh, one world religion. So the Muslims and the Christians are going to have to be melded into one. How is that going to... I don't think that's what it means by one world religion. I think we're seeing the first church now being dedicated to the new global religion. And it is social justice, environmental justice. It's all this gobbledygook that we all know is not just wrong, it is dangerous.
Hi, fucko. You can't. I thought you were saying all this shit was Marxist last week. Marx was an atheist. Stalin was an atheist. Mao was an atheist. These are atheist. Marxism, communism, they're all atheistic structures. You're going to build a church of atheism? What the fuck are you talking about?
That's the first church. The Cathedral of Notre Dame in France is the first church, the global church. Mark my words.
Okay. I'm giving them low marks, but I'll mark them nonetheless. Okay. There are a lot of flagellating dipshits that we deal with on a regular basis. Bongino is way ahead of everyone else in the world of 5 eggs, as we well know.
5 eggs.
But there has to be at some point, a sort of an odd line of just high on your own stash. And the king of it has to be Glenn Beck at this point. Like, just believing your own bullshit to an incredible fault. Like, it's nearly impressive, except it would be impressive if, he would commit enough to an actual date or something, Koresh style or, end of the world style. But he really just it's this always soft, just over the horizon is this monstrous turn. It's right around the corner. The shit is right around the corner. It's going to hit the fan any day now. It didn't happen during the fucking pandemic, which is, as end time events go, you can't ask for a better one about August of last year. But the concept that this asshole is just going to always have, like, you mark my words, this just started, and I'm going to run. Basically, he's planting a first down flag in the ground right now and saying, I'm going to go this 10 yards and then this 10 yards based on this idea, just by making up the fact that Notre Dame is now the UN one world government Great Reset Church of Woke, that he'll just be able to run on this shit forever, that this is going to be run out of there like some giant, like fuck, he and Russell Brand must just, like, the conspiracy 69 these two assholes do all the time is unprecedented in modern times.
Christians, Jews, Muslims who don't think that you should translate that exactly as written. We're all going to be fine with each other. We're all going to be fine. And we're all going to be able to live next to each other without trying to kill one another. This global church will bring darkness unlike you've ever seen.
Yes, and that's because they want, I think, nothing brings darkness like solar energy and applying the law equally amongst all people. Fucking hell.